Let's take a look at the following errors. The question says, write a function that asks a user for their age in years, respond with their age in seconds using an F string. And you can see there's a function defined as age along with an input and then an attempt to print the answer. So in order to work with this error, and this is always good if you're troubleshooting even somebody else's error, you want to be able to run it in your own coding environment. So let's go ahead and do File, Save a Copy in Drive, and then start working on running this code with the interest in clearing its errors. Okay, go ahead and get rid of the copy. Let's run the function itself. Okay, let's see how that goes. And then after that, we'll run the code after it. I will tell you that input can be very tricky. It tends to cause, I think, a little more errors on average than, say, other functions in Python. Okay, running the next code, this is great. Okay, so it's actually working in the sense that it's asking the question, how old are you? I think the student here is 18, and you get an error, and it says unsupported operand type for star, function, and int. Now, it can take some time to get used to reading these types of errors. And so when you're troubleshooting errors, you can always look at the code itself, see if you can find the error, or you can try to go to the end here and see, okay, unsupported operand type for star, function, and int. Well, here's star. These numbers are clearly all int. It's saying age is the function because, yes, the function here is called age. Now, what I would do here is maybe give it a different title, something like age in seconds, okay? And then the idea here, now you can see colab has underlined age, okay, because it hasn't been defined, right? And we can try to run it to verify that error. And so how old are you? Running both codes, 18. Well, it still says the same thing because it had previously stored age as a function, okay? And this can happen sometimes even though it hasn't been defined here, okay, it was previously defined. And so the way that you can delete the previous definitions from code, you can do runtime, restart session, and run all. Note that it does say all local variables will be lost, which is actually what you want here. Okay, so go ahead and do that. It's probably my favorite tool, restart and runtime all. And it does say now name age is not defined, okay? And what you need when you have input, if you want to use the user's input, which is usually the point, that's where you would define age. Okay, we'll try it one more time. It's okay not to return something on the function. You can just print at the end. So let's try it now. Okay, so we've got age. Okay, and this can happen. Sometimes it takes a moment for colab if you change things quickly, okay? It says age is not defined, but wait a minute, it was defined here. Okay, sometimes you have to wait a moment, and if you try the code again, it will often work. There are some delays here. Okay, and when that happens, it could be, I think, better just do runtime again, restart session, and run all. Okay, so I don't know why it says age is not defined. Oh, I know why. And so this is an error that can happen sometimes in running the code. This was the previous code that was up, and it's no longer called age. Age is defined as a variable, but not as the function. And so when you change your function name, you've also got to change it here, okay? So now we have the new name. How old are you? 18. And it is running. And again, this can happen sometimes. Colab can stall out, it can take time. And if it ever takes too long, okay, it's one of two things. Either there's a problem with the code or there's an issue with Colab. And I can tell you from my experience, Colab usually works. It is connected to the internet. Occasionally there are delays, but there are never it's rare that there are big epic delays. Now this one did finish running in 22 seconds and it says saving failed. It's confused. What's going on here? Was this a Colab error? Well, first of all, I'm gonna do it again and show you something. So if I do it again, and again, this can happen where functions can just take forever. When that happens, it can be in your best interest to stop it. There are different ways to do it. You can go up to runtime and try to stop it there. You can also try pressing this stop button here. Those will often work, or in cases like this, it's totally stalled out. And I can tell you that I actually had this error before. Okay, it's not responding due to interrupts. Okay, would you like to try restarting it? Yes. And it almost seems like, and I'm clicking and it's not even working. It almost seems like you're trapped. Okay, like it's just not working. And in all honesty, this happened to me before with this code. And I thought it was a colab issue initially. Okay. And what's interesting here though is the code did actually run. And look at this bar down here. You see this bar and it like keeps going to the right. What's going on? Okay. And by the way, if you ever get stuck like this in Colab, you can just refresh, you can reload the page. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And then in this case, see if you can catch the error. There actually is an error here. And look at this. This is a key too. Buffer data was truncated after reaching the output size limit. Now, it didn't properly save my agent second, so I'll hit that. And so what is the issue here? Okay, why was the output size so big? And you can say, well, is this number just too huge? Okay, like we could try checking this, right? We could say like, I mean, the person's 18, so if it's just 18, okay, that's fine, right? You could have numbers that big, so that's not the issue. Okay, so here we're just checking size of output. The problem is that you need the int here to turn it into a number. Okay, you could also say age equals age int. So what it's trying to do is create, because recall that when you multiply, it's trying to show you like that many times that character. So it's trying to show us the word age. What is this number? 567 million times. Yes, that poses a problem. Okay, but now that it's been converted to an int, hopefully it'll work. So we'll try it again. Age in seconds. How old are you? 18. You can see it gives an immediate response. And the only other thing I would add here is I might do something like this just to improve it. Seconds, because what is that? I mean, it's nice to say something nice here. And this isn't really an error, but you can sort of, when you're correcting errors, you can actually sometimes add the readability or the user friendliness of your code. So you might want to say you are, and then it's seconds old, right? It just looks cleaner. And so note the difference here. And here, how old are you? 18. There's a number. If I run it again, how old are you? 18. Okay, it didn't work because it was in a print function, right? And this is the disadvantage of using the print function. Look, there are sometimes reasons why you might just want to use printed, but if you're closing off a function, just return it, okay? So let's see if this wraps it up. Let's go for the age in seconds. How old are you? 18. You are, then there you have it, 567,648,000 seconds old. You know, you're telling them something cool, you know, and you could even like enhance it more. Lesson from this error is, it's an important one in Colab. Whenever your code is taking what seems like way too long to run, if you can verify that your internet connection is working and run a couple tests, you might want to actually stop the code and look carefully to see if there's an error that's causing it to run too long.